Hello, my name is Yona Lieberman. I want to welcome you, everybody, to the CTE graduation ceremony. I'm a senior. I did not think this would be the first time I would be wearing a graduation gown. And I'm also a member of the Detroit Partnership and the College Democrats, both members of the Coalition for Tuition Equality. CTE is a coalition of over a dozen of the largest student organizations, some of which you'll be privileged enough to hear later in the ceremony. Together, we are advocating a change to universities' discriminatory tuition policy towards undocumented immigrants living in Michigan. Right now, these highly qualified students are being forced to pay out-of-state or international tuition rates, too often putting a degree from this prestigious university out of financial reach. I want you to look around right now. There is something happening here unlike anything I've seen before. There's something happening here, both beneath the surface and in the streets. Students from the diverse corners of this campus are coming together to fight for social justice. Students are standing up for what they believe in, though they know the road to victory will be hard. For once, I see students who believe in their ability to create change on this campus. And the administration is being forced to listen. We showed up with 30, then 70, and then over 200 students to the Regents meetings. We've begun the process of working with the administration to shape a policy for tuition equality. This is farther than any student movement has gotten in a long time. But we still have work to do. We have been unable to meet Mary C. Coleman. We have been unable to get a public comment about the need for tuition equality from any administrators. We have been unable to get our working group meetings to be on public record. As you can see, we've even saved seats for some of our university's leaders, but they have not bothered to show up. Today, as some of you know, is the second day of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And I actually just got back to town an hour ago. I was in Toledo, Ohio with my family. And those two things, my Jewish identity and my family, have always been important for me. I grew up in DC with parents who raised me with strong values of social justice based in our Jewish tradition. As a community, we teach our children to fight for the oppressed, not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because we are a people that have been the victims of oppression in countries all over the world. And we are a people that proudly marched arm in arm with Dr. King in the streets of Selma, and a people that said never again to the genocide in Darfur. And we are a community of immigrants. My great-grandparents immigrated in boats to this land of opportunity from the small villages of Eastern Europe. They left their families. They didn't know English. They didn't have much money. My great-grandma Esther even forged her birth certificate. In spite of this, their children, my grandparents, went to college and were able to create a life for themselves. 4 generations after those boats landed, here I am. This is not to say that my being here was inevitable. It is to say that my story is the story of the millions of immigrants that have come to America since my great-grandparents. It is a story of what can happen when a community is given opportunities. New immigrants and their children are our country's hardest workers as long as they get a chance. This fight for tuition equality is not about giving those that cheated a leg up. This fight is not about rewarding the undeserving. This fight is about ending a discriminatory policy that has been the status quo for far too long. This fight is about giving these undocumented students the same opportunities as my grandparents. Our current immigration system is broken. I hope we can all agree on that. Fathers should not be taken from their families and deported simply for running a red light. Children should not have to live in fear every day of the prospect of being sent back to the birthplace they never called home. It is daunting to think about how we can fix this broken system. The problems are too great, the challenges too insurmountable. So we must turn our efforts to this community. We must figure out how we can do our part in fixing this system that is so clearly immoral. I ask myself, and you should ask yourselves, what can I do on this campus to push forward a future that is based on equality under the law, no matter someone's status? The answer to me is clear: tuition equality. Grant undocumented students in this state the same rights that other students in Michigan have. End this discriminatory policy and open the door to some of Michigan's brightest high school students. This movement is not unique to this campus. It is a movement that has erupted on college campuses and in state legislatures in 12 states. It is a movement based on the premise that if you work hard, you can get a good education. It is a movement that is bringing together diverse groups that are often segregated across this campus. It is a privilege of mine to count myself among you today. This is an incredible demonstration of what we as students are capable of this coming year. I cannot wait to see what comes next. With that, I want to introduce our next speaker from the Muslim Student Association, Ma.
Thank you so much, Yona. Can you guys hear me? Yes? So let me introduce myself. My name is Iman Devaja, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the Muslim Students Association. Although the MSA is always thought of as a faith-based organization, much of our work here is doing social justice work on this campus and advocacy. Meaning, being part of this coalition of tuition equality is an essential part of the work we do here on campus. And I think it's very important for us to stay true to our roots. So, for me, this movement is especially important. I spent the last 3 years on campus recruiting minority students, Arab Americans and Muslims from Dearborn, Michigan, no more than 45 minutes away, who at times have a very hard time even thinking they can even come to college and nonetheless apply to a university like this. That's a shame. And with all the campus days, student-led campus days we've held on this campus, the application workshops, the work with administrators and staff, nothing is more daunting than having to tell a student that's undocumented that this is going to be too expensive for them to pay, that their dreams are crushed. This is something that's inhumane. Ultimately, education is a right. And for people like my parents who are immigrants from Lebanon, you know, I'm a first-generation college student. What does it mean for our parents to come here and to struggle, and for us to also have that same struggle? And I think I'm very blessed to have been born here and to have a social security number. But how about those who don't? And so I'm asking you all, appealing to you all to join the coalition, to become part of this movement, and to understand that this is an issue much larger than this campus alone. This is an issue about social justice. And we, regardless of our faith, understand that this is something that needs to change. So join me and join the rest of us in the Coalition of Tuition Equality to fight for social justice on this campus. And I want to introduce Manish from the Central Student Government.
Hello everyone, my name is Manish Parikh and I am President of the Central Student Government. I've always kind of had the dream to give a speech on the DIAG, so it's good to be here today. And you know, usually when I'm giving a speech before an important set of people, I tend to feel very nervous, but today I feel at home with you, so I'm not really nervous. So if you see my hands shivering, it's because of the cold, not because I'm nervous. Thank you so much for having me here today. On my way here, someone asked me why I'm going to the DIAG, and why I'm coming to speak here today to you. So first, let me share with you why I'm here today. First, as your student body president, it is my duty to support the issues that you care about. Second, as a student and a Wolverine, I believe your cause is important. Third, as a human being, I think this cause of making higher education more accessible to undocumented people is the right thing to do. But I'm not here just because of these three reasons. I'm also here because I believe in your leaders and they inspire me every day. I believe in Yona and Kevin and Danielle. And guys, I know it's cold, but let's have a big round of applause for all three of them. But I'm not here just for them. I'm also here because I believe in every one of you. And I will work with the Central Student Government to continue to give this campaign as much support as possible. This is a student issue, and I am president of your student government, and CSG hopes to remain an advocate of any and all student issues as the primary student government of the University of Michigan. I hope you'll allow me to give, to offer my advice and opinion on the entire issue and Coalition for Tuition Equality. So firstly, I truly believe that we've got to be ahead of our time. We have to think of the future, and we have to dream of an America where all undocumented people will have equal and fair access to higher education. Secondly, over the summer, it was great to hear of the federal government's initiative, DACA, which offers ways for undocumented youth to step out and become more productive members of society. This will help CTE's campaign for tuition equality because it's making this issue, issues of undocumented people and issues of immigration more mainstream and acceptable. Thirdly, I also think it's critical that we keep trying to get the administration to see our vision. We want to look in the same direction as them. We don't want to look in opposite direction. And we don't want an us versus them mentality. We have to try to foster an us and them mentality. And I'm happy to keep working with Kevin and Yona and Daniel to keep working with the administration and to make them see our vision. So please don't lose hope. And finally, one thing I'd like to say, the country that I'm from, India, we're taught that no matter whether we agree or disagree with our elders, we always treat them with immense respect. So even if at times we disagree with the administration, I think you'll agree with me that it's important to be respectful, kind, and compassionate. At Michigan, we're taught to expect respect, to give it and get it. So I hope that you'll keep that thought in mind. And finally, I want you to remember that there are no hurdles that we cannot surmount. There are no mountains we cannot scale. There are no obstacles that we will not overcome. My friends, my fellow Wolverines, our journey is rough, but our ideals are pure. Our goal seems far, but our vision sees farther. Let's hold hands. Let's stand side by side. Let's work hard and remain committed. And let's work together to make the work of this coalition for tuition equality a reality. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Jacob from Latinos for Novice.
Hello everyone. My name is Jacob Houston, and I'm a junior here studying computer science. I'm also the president of Latino Student Organization, also known as LSO. And today I'm here to say a few words about the Coalition for Tuition Equality and how it affects me personally, but also to LSO as an organization. Growing up in Texas, I have seen the fight for tuition equality grow in the United States and witnessed the start of the movement. Back in 2001, Texas was the first state to pass an in-state tuition law, permitting a child who has lived in the state of Texas for at least 3 years and graduated from a state high school to qualify for in-state tuition at a Texas college or university, on the condition that the child agrees to pursue full citizenship. Going to middle school and high school in Texas, I had friends who were undocumented, and I could tell you firsthand that they have enough barriers to overcome when it came to continue on to university. The undocumented status and that of their parents hindered them economically and socially in our community. Even with tuition equality in Texas, college to them was a far-fetched idea. No matter how far they exceeded academically, many still had to worry about how to cover the rest of their expenses in college, how to contribute to their families, how to adjust to a new environment, and how to move past the barriers that society has placed on them. When I think of the University of Michigan, I want to envision an institution that is inclusive and fair within their practices. This is why personally I feel tuition equality is a necessity, and it is just a small step towards removing the barriers on these individuals. Latino Students Organization is a campus group that prides themselves in being inclusive, having open arms to anyone who is interested in Latino unity, strength, issues, and culture. As an organization, we support the Coalition for Tuition Equality because tuition equality is an important issue within the Latino community, but also to many other communities. Latinos on campus have enough obstacles when it comes to getting to university, and we feel policies that marginalize talented, undocumented high school students shouldn't be one of them. We should all look towards ways to make this university more inclusive and equal, and take a stance to fight for what we believe in. This ceremony and rally is important, because we need to commemorate the accomplishments of those who have fought insuperable obstacles. When you hear their stories and their experiences, realize the inequality and injustice we live in, and see how the Coalition's goals help to change this. Thank you for your time, and I'm glad you guys all came out. And next we have Sanjay from ACLU.
All right, so I have a very short message for those of you here, and an even shorter message for those not here. To those of you who are students, we should recognize right now that we are very blessed. This university is the cornerstone of higher education in the state of Michigan, and it's for that reason we are here today. For as representatives of the university, as representatives of this state, we bear the burden of these injustices. It is our obligation to act. We will not be complicit while the university discriminates against our peers. We will not be complicit in the face of hopes deferred and dreams paralyzed. We will not be complicit while the system's lack of educational access threatens to subjugate to an underclass our undocumented brothers and sisters. Folks,
Folks who we went to school with, folks who we play ball with, folks who have so much to offer this state and this country. And if we relent, if we sit down and shut up, as so many in the state legislature and in this university's administration would like, we shame ourselves and we shame this institution with hypocrisy and ignorance and cowardice. That is why we are here. And to those whose absence glares at us with insult, I have just one thing to say. Sorry, Manish. Stop this bullshit. And now you hear from Brock Grosso from Students Organizing Against Prisons.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
No? Now? Yes? The mic close? Okay, I'm glad I don't put it in my mouth. What's up, everybody? My name is Brock Grosso, and I'm here to support the Coalition for Tuition Equality on behalf of Students Organizing Against Prisons. Students Organizing Against Prisons supports the right to education for undocumented students because we know that access to quality education for all people is both a human right and a sensible policy. We believe our campus community should be made up for those who will enrich it, not solely those who are privileged enough to have access to financial resources to go to a quality high school or have documentation. We stand behind these students today because we strive to chart the course of both our university and our country towards justice and opportunity for our most marginalized communities. We fight for tuition equality because we want our university to be filled with those who are truly the leaders and the best. As an organization, Students Organizing Against Prisons supports tuition equality because we recognize how limiting access to education is a mechanism used to funnel marginalized communities into the criminal justice system. We support tuition equality because we believe that everyone deserves a fair chance to obtain an education. We support tuition equality because we believe that the university should not be reserved solely for the privileged. We support tuition equality because if change is ever going to come, it is going to come through fair and equal access to education. Personally, I have never felt the fear of being deported during a routine traffic stop, nor have I had my access to this university restricted through no fault of my own. But that does not mean that I am not effective, and that does not mean that this is not my fight. While my privileged position may open doors to somewhat affordable education and the comfort of knowing I will never be restricted by my immigration status, this policy has harmed both my education and my sense of justice. Earlier today, as I was thinking about the students who we will meet shortly, I was reminded of the thousands of students who were denied access to this university over my 4 years here. I was reminded of the thousands of times these students could have challenged my beliefs, taught me invaluable life lessons, and become lifelong friends. Moving forward, it's important that we support one another in this struggle. It's important for those of us who are privileged enough to be University of Michigan students, recognize that if we don't speak up about issues such as tuition equality, change will never come. It's important that we continue to work with these undocumented students around the nation in order to make our shared dream a reality. Today, I wonder if the leaders from the best are in prison cells, or just outside our walls, blocked from our community by their immigration status. But today, I know that I'm proud to be a member of the Coalition for Tuition Equality. Today, I am proud to stand with undocumented students whom I promise to continue to fight alongside. And today I hope we all realize that this is not solely their fight, but ours as well. Thank you. Shayna from South Asian Awareness Network.
Hi everyone, my name is Shayna, and I'm with the South Asian Awareness Network, one of the partner organizations of the Coalition for Tuition Equality. To start off, we just wanted to thank all the people who worked so tirelessly to put on this event. It's truly inspiring to just be here, surrounded by all of you. The South Asian Awareness Network, or SAN, is a social justice organization focused on increasing awareness of issues salient to South Asians and South Asian Americans. Whether it's about sex trafficking in India's red light district, removing the taboo of discussing LGBTQ rights in Bangladesh, or discussing the importance of HIV/AIDS awareness among South Asian youth, we are at the heart a social justice organization, and our goal is to bring these normally overlooked issues to light. My parents were immigrants to this country. They came with dreams and aspirations. They came with hope, for education, for a brighter future, for all of their family left behind, and for their children, my brother and myself. Our journey up to this point has not always been easy, and over the years, our dreams have transformed. But we continue to dream. Becoming a partner with CTE was a very important decision for both myself and our organization, and we are so proud to be part of such an incredible movement. The subject of undocumented immigrants has become a pressing issue in the past few months. Many of these undocumented immigrants include Asians, and they are frequently overlooked in this discussion. Out of the 11.2 million undocumented people in the United States, 1.2 million of them are from Asia. And out of those 1.2 million, there are 200,000 undocumented Asian students who would benefit from a National Dream Act. Many people don't understand the gravity of the situation in these communities, and as a result, voices are silenced for fear of speaking out. Problems arise for current undocumented students who feel alone and lost with no support system. Now more and more Asian undocumented students are starting to speak out about their situation. Although still afraid to speak completely freely, they're paving the way for undocumented Asian students to find support and the sense of community that they have been seeking. This mock graduation represents the image we envision for the undocumented youth across America. We at SAN believe in tuition equality, and starting here at the University of Michigan, it is time to mobilize. It's time to show everyone that no human being is illegal. And so today, I stand here to ask you to stand strong and to continue the fight for those dreams and for all of those who hope out there. Thank you.
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys hear me? Good? First off, I just want to thank all of you all for standing out here this long. It is incredibly cold, but we are incredibly committed. I'm just going to be introducing the group of undocumented students who have come all the way from Southwest Detroit to talk about their experiences living in the shadows, and use this as an opportunity to step out of the shadows in front of you all and give you all some insight into their lives and the barriers that they face. One Michigan.
Hello, my name is Julio Garibaldi. I come from Southwest Detroit. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. My story goes: I had a dream, like everybody does. Somebody wants to be a lawyer, doctor, astronaut. Well, my dream was to go to my dream school. I found out what was my dream school when I was in middle school, as part of the program called KCP, which stands for King Chavez Parks. The dream school that I wanted to attend to was Eastern Michigan. As soon as I stepped my first footsteps on that school, I knew I wanted to go there. And I was only in middle school. So I set up my goal to go to Eastern Michigan. I go forward to my high school years. I would lie to my friends, tell them that I was a U.S. resident, lie to my teachers, like basically my whole high school year, I would lie to everybody. It was a whole big lie for me. Around senior year, I was class treasurer, my school varsity tennis captain, and I was yearbook editor. I was, you could say, one of the hardest seniors working at the school. But all I wanted to do is for my fellow seniors to go to university, since I thought I couldn't go. One day, consequently, my guidance counselor, she pulled me into a room because I'd been to avoid her most of my school year. And she told me, why haven't I stepped into her classroom? I told her, that's the first time I actually told somebody that I was undocumented. When I told her, tears started crying out of me. I didn't know what to do, seriously. That's when she told me, well, you can still apply to private colleges and universities. So she handed me applications to these universities. But she also asked me one important question. She asked me, what school do you want to go to? I told her Eastern Michigan. So she handed me the application and told me it doesn't hurt to try. So a couple of weeks passed by, I keep getting these acceptance letters left to right from all these universities that I applied to. But then all of a sudden I get the letter from Eastern. I was so excited, then again nervous. So I opened it. And that's when I found out that I've been accepted to Eastern Michigan. I was so happy. I was actually so happy when I got that letter. I didn't know what to do. But then a big question rolled over my head. How was I going to afford this? At Eastern, currently, you have to pay out-of-state tuition if you're undocumented. The tuition rate is three times more than regular in-state tuition. That's when my dad asked me if I really wanted to go to that school, and I told him yes. So he told me he was gonna pay for my tuition with the little family store we've owned for over years. So I finally attend Eastern Michigan. I'm all happy going to my classes, walking around campus, meeting new friends. A couple of months passed by and my dad calls me. He told me that he had to close down our family business because he couldn't afford my tuition no more. I really didn't know what to do. So I had to drop out of Eastern Michigan, my dream school that I had right at the palm of my hands. And for a dream like that to just walk away from a dream like that, it's really hard, seriously. Now I just really want to go back to Eastern Michigan. That's really my main priority right now. That's why I fight for in-state tuition equality in colleges. And I really want UOM to be a leader in this movement. UOM has the potential to start this movement and influence other schools as Eastern. I'll be great, seriously, going back to my dream school. Thank you.
Hi everybody. Thank you for standing outside in the cold with me. I'm really cold too. Well, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Xochitl. I don't know if you guys ever see the chips out there. I actually found them. Okay. Well, my name is Xochitl. I'm a student at the University of Detroit-Mercy. I'm the oldest of my family. I consider myself to be normal like everybody else. I like to go shopping, party every once in a while, and I'm undocumented. So for a lot of us, we hear about it, but we really don't know what it means. And I can tell you what it means in my life. For me, being undocumented meant not having the opportunity to come to U of M. And even if I did get accepted, paying double as much as anybody else just because I don't have a social security. And I have lived here for the past 17 years of my life, basically. For me, undocumented means driving in my car to school every morning and basically having a panic attack when I see a police drive next to me. For me, being undocumented means going to the library and not being able to renew my library card because I don't have a state ID. For me, being undocumented is when those simple little things like going to school, getting a license, renewing your library card, being able to drive freely becomes a difficulty, becomes a struggle. Like things that are supposed to be easy. I'm here, I came to the United States at the age of 2. I have been here all my life. I went to Western, I know I see some of you guys out there. And my senior year was a very stressful year for me because it was basically like a slap in the face. I always tell people that. Discovering like, oh, I can't get the scholarship that I work for. Oh, even if I do have the ACT scores and the GPA, I can't apply to this school. And even if I worked so hard for it, just like everybody else did, I can't do it because I don't have the papers to show for it. So I'm here speaking to you guys today to ask that you help in passing this equal. Yes, well we all know what we're here for, right? And I'm here not for myself anymore, but for the other students that have come up to me, and for my sister that I know would do great here because she's an awesome soccer player, and she could definitely play soccer here if given the opportunity and if she didn't have to pay double as much for not having a Social Security. And right now, it's a great opportunity to pass it because DECA is on its way, or so we hear. And if you have a work permit and a Social Security, why can't you get in-state tuition? Right? That's how I think of it. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get like jumbled up in my. Okay. So that's a little bit about myself. I consider myself like everybody else, except that every day I'm reminded that I'm not. So I don't really ask for pity because I love where I am right now, and I love my university, and I'm so lucky to be able to go to college. But I know there's so many people that don't have that opportunity, and if U of M allows it, more people will be able to go to college. So thank you for listening to me. I hope I didn't get to the words.
So we're going to go ahead and close off this event, and as we close off this graduation ceremony, which served the purpose of allowing us to highlight some of these challenges that these students face, we should take a moment to appreciate the courage and the leadership shown by undocumented youth and young adults. Can we give them a round of applause, please? I can tell you from experience, it takes great courage to come out to anyone, your best friend, your counselor, let alone a group of strangers. So we appreciate you guys today. Thank you so much for coming out. Around the country and in Michigan, the movement for immigrant rights owes itself to the strong individuals who came out of the shadows and who fearlessly took on a broken immigration system, and in this case, took on a broken public education system. And this is the reason specifically that I want to offer our Michigan a certificate of appreciation by the Coalition for Tuition Equality. I'm going to offer them this certificate. Now, as you can see by their reaction, that piece of paper fails to approach the value of another. And that is a university diploma. A diploma provides a world of opportunity to anyone who earns it. If earning it just came down to your abilities, there would be a lot of undocumented students at the University of Michigan. However, earning it really means paying for it in today's world. And what was once an uncommon education for the common man, as President Angel once said, has now increasingly become a common education for the commonly well-off student. But we can fix this. We can take steps to make a Michigan education affordable to all who are Michigan material. And to make these first steps, we should begin with treating students fairly. It begins with ensuring that all of the state students, those who made Michigan their homes many years ago, and who pay the same amount of taxes as anyone else, pay the same amount for university tuition. Unfortunately, the University of Michigan doesn't see all Michiganders the same way. This is fundamentally unfair. Unfair to documented and undocumented students alike. It's tearing apart the very fabric of our society. In high schools across the state, aspiring university students can enroll while their equally capable classmates cannot. What separates them, I ask you? A few digits comprising a social security number? Is that what makes you a Michigander? So let's stand up for what it means to be a real Michigander. To call Michigan your home and call U of M your flagship of higher education. Let's stand up against the university's tuition policy, which discriminates against undocumented Michiganders. Let's stand up for what we, the leaders and best, know is right and moral. Tuition equality for all students. And now, I ask President Coleman, or the chair representing President Coleman, I kind of feel like I'm at the RNC, to join us. I ask President Coleman to join us and publicly acknowledge the need for tuition equality here. And I want her to acknowledge that the university has for too long allowed its policies to crush the dreams of undocumented students. And as a leader of an institution that firmly stands against discrimination and it favors diversity, she must take the steps to adopt tuition equality or risk running the university into moral ruin. I ask you, President Coleman, to express support for tuition equality on the public record so that we can keep you accountable for your words. And I ask your administration to make its efforts to address tuition equality as transparent as possible so as we can hold them accountable for their actions as well. I look forward to the day when the university treats every Michigander fairly. A day when undocumented high school students in Southwest Detroit can say with certainty that a university education is more than just a dream. It's a dream within reach. Until then, we students will lead this movement on this issue on which you have regretted to do so. Thank you.